house data from both the public sector and the private sector, and that is why partnership is so important for the success. We cannot do this without partnership, and neither can you. So will we be seeing flying cars shortly in our streets here in Newcastle, or will we be seeing any robots assisting any of the tourists very soon? Maybe not. Or maybe we will. Technology is moving so fast. Even if we don't, it doesn't mean that South African tourism jets won't actively contribute to and benefit from 4IR. The World Economic Forum shows us that as the forces of 4IR accelerate, consumers are enjoying the benefits of rapid innovation, but they are also struggling to maintain a sense of connection. In that context, experiences, especially transformative ones, are growing in popularity. In fact, authentic offline experiences have become key to personal fulfillment, with 78% of millennials saying that they would choose to spend money on a desirable experience over something material. Right? I can attest to that. We are so overbuying things. We want an authentic experience. Your customers, your global customers, people that need to find you, they need what you have. They need what you have. And yours is unique. So, my encouragement to you today, and from JURNI, we want to say that you have to keep your unique and authentic identity as an SME tourism product. It is by far your selling point. How do you do this? We've already spoken about you not being in isolation. And coming to a place like this is exactly the medicine that you need. It's exactly the partnership that you need. And I want to say, continue to invest, continue to teach, and bring more of them here. I really just want to commend the organizers for putting this together. The other thing is, think about the convenience of your customer and of tourists, and then fill those gaps. Provide them with the information and fill the gaps that you see are relevant to them having a better experience out here in Newcastle or in South Africa. And in closing, the 4IR canvas is set, and JURNI is painting it for the tourism sector, and so can you. And with that, I close today. I hope that was useful for you. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. Yes.
Well, thank you for this very inspiring talk. Thank you for a very inspiring talk, and it's eye-opening for us this morning. My name is Kwa-Zulu. I work for SEDA, the Small Enterprise Development Agency. What we do is we support small businesses, and some of them are these BNBs. They are usually smaller SMEs within the tourism sector. Like today, we assisted the 5 BNBs that are exhibiting today, and also one tour operating company that we're able to assist them. I think my question this morning to you is, as SEDA supporting these smaller BNBs in the tourism sector, what would you recommend as the top 3 technologies that they can't do without? Seeing that as we interact with them as SEDA, we find that some of them have not adopted the relevant technologies because they are still too small. Some of them might think that maybe technologies are expensive or are they not for them. So I would say, what would you say are the top 3 basic technologies that can assist them to increase the number of their customers, therefore also increase their revenues. Thank you very much.
Should I answer first and then the next one?
Okay, great stuff. So this excites me because it's very accessible. Number one, you need to own your customer. And how do you own your customer? It's not going to be through a book and a pencil. So the black book you have to get rid of. If you're still making bookings and receiving whatever, making notes through your black book, get rid of it. You need a customer management tool of some sort, whether it is a smart Excel spreadsheet to begin with, but something that is affordable where you can manage your customer. Everything that you do today has to do with your customer, and you need to own that customer and find whatever technology it is that you're going to be able to use to track the customer and then to communicate. That's the second one. You need a communication tool. Now, the first step to your communication tool is going to have to be a website. I don't know how many of the businesses have a website. One of the things that we made when we wrote our business plan for the booking tool, there's 3 projects within JURNI for now. One is the hub, one is the SMME booking tool, and the other one is the visitor app. But for the booking tool, most critical, we said that we know that SMMEs are struggling to get online. They don't have an online presence, and that is what cripples them. So we need to get online. And then you need to make sure that when you are online, those people can book you. Now, communication is very important, and we know that we're using WhatsApp and whatever, but it needs to be structured communication, because how do you get yourself out there? Unfortunately, the SMMEs are giving away large amounts of profits to companies such as bookings.com and Travel. They take 15 to 20% of their hard-earned cash, and then you have to pay salaries, you have to pay rent, you pay the water and the lights. And they take 15%. At the end of the day, after you've had your room rent, you don't even have 20% left for profit. So take charge of your customer in whichever way, so that somebody else doesn't get to choose who comes to you. You need internet, online presence and a website, and we hope that when we come back here next time, that we will be able to onboard some of you. We would like you to come when we do have an event. When you hear that JURNI is here, we will be able to bring some of our team members. You bring your laptop, and we will connect you onto a booking tool so that you can get yourself booking. Our system provides both a booking tool and for your customers to be able to access you. Should you need a website, we can help you with a website. We've got a few templates available. Your own website will have a widget. We call it a widget. So on the screen, you know, the job starts to look very fancy and whatever, and it has cost us a bit of money, but this is a government initiative. So while it won't be free of charge, there will be a small cost, but you won't pay until you actually have some bookings, and they don't charge huge amounts of money. We are here to uplift and to enable that process. The communication with your customer is very important. So you need to find some communication tool. A lot of the companies are using fancy marketing automation tools, and whether that tool for you for now is business WhatsApp or something, you need to be able to communicate with your customer, to continuously remind them that you are there, whether you are using Facebook or doing whatever you need to communicate. So have I covered? Is that useful for you?
Oh, and the other tool,
part of the actual booking tool is for you to be able to manage your revenues. So when you wake up in the morning and you log on to your system, you want to know who's coming. What does my calendar look like, right? Who's coming this week, and have they paid? What is the amount receivable? How much of them have paid? Did they pay a deposit? Did they not? And you want to be able to make those bookings, and you want to be able to promote specials very easily without breaking your neck and taking off 2 days to be able to create the special. With our tool, you can create a special in seriously 5 minutes.
I was trained 2-3 weeks ago because I wanted to know the system for myself, and I was pleasantly blown away with what we've been able to come up with.
Just a follow-up from the comment.
Well, thank you very much. I think I was asking basically on behalf of our supported companies, SMEs, but I think your answer was very useful.
For the BNBs?
Yes, I think your answer was very useful and comprehensive. And I do hope that our clients will actually implement those advices. My take home basically is that my take home from what you said was to get rid of the black book. That's a lot of us still use. And then also my take home is the online presence, the websites, customer relationship management tools, revenue management tools. Thank you very much. It's very useful.
Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you very much. I'm from the Juba College. I'm Assistant Acting Curriculum Director. I just want to find out from you, is there any chance that you can come and help us with our students, especially with having something like this, that when they leave the college, they've already been equipped, because we offer tourism and hospitality. And it's something that obviously we try to get the students to be self-employed. And if they've got a tool that they can leave with, it will really assist them. We've got campuses in Dundee and in Newcastle and in Manadini, so we've got quite a few students that we could use.
To do that. Okay, so is this one? I won't be able to answer your question immediately, but I can say this. We've started working with the University of Johannesburg, UJ, because we want to influence the training and to be able to equip students. The other initiative that we are looking at is to be able to empower entrepreneurship. So how does it look? It looks like this. We have just employed on Wednesday, I took in 9 young people for our contact center. They'll be training next week and we are super excited. And they will support, they are going to do a train the trainer so that they can train trainers. Okay? And potentially what we could do, you can give me your business card, but let's connect after a few months. Through the Train the Trainer program, our objective is to train others to train others. Okay? And so we will be able to train you so that you can train others. And what will happen is that those students could potentially be the ones that you are training, could be the ones that will go from BNB to BNB to be able to implement the tool, because JURNI can't do this alone. We are not going to become a 100-person company. Our company is going to remain little as far as permanent staff is concerned, but the way that we are implementing throughout South Africa is through partnerships such as that, such as yours. So we want to work with provincial tourism infrastructure, the structures that already exist. We are working very closely with the provinces, very closely, and we're doing that so that we can then impart and we can also learn, because nobody knows Newcastle. Right? You can't come here and do whatever, throw a brand around and just think that. So all we want to do is to be able to enable. So if we can do that to train you, to train others, then the job is done. And I think we will achieve something great together.
My name is Mosiso. I'm here on behalf of Elite Radio. It's a online radio station around here in Newcastle. So my question is, we know that we live in South Africa. Currently, the electricity supply is not like as adequate as we want it to be. So what are the tools that you use, maybe in case, since you can't go online if there's no electricity, what can be used as a backup, maybe to check your bookings for your clients who are coming? So that question. Thank you.
This is real, eh? Your phone.
Sorry?
Your phone. Do you still have power? Your phone is still connected when the power goes off, right?
Yeah.
You can run your business from Rasem's got his tablet, and you will be able to run your internet sites, your specials, your booking tool via your tablet or your phone. It's as easy as that. I think that yes, we've got generators. Not everybody can afford a generator, and they're expensive, and you don't want to have to to be able to run your business. But so there's one part to be able to satisfy your customers if you're running a B&B or a small business or a tour operator, and you need power to switch the lights on. But it doesn't stop you from getting bookings. So the bookings are not going to stop coming in when the lights go off. You can manage your communication through your tablet or your phone very easily. And I want to encourage you to do that. Use and that's why the Vodacom people would have been so nice for them to be here, because the telecommunications play a huge role in the way that we connect, and they are able to make our lives so easy. So when they connect with us and we can just see what they have available, that question, we will need them to be able to expound for us to make it easier and acceptable. But from a bookings perspective, from an online perspective, you can take bookings, you can cancel, you can refund, you can receive money, as long as you've got your phone and your tablet. Have I answered your question?
So, which means your website should be like able to even access via using a mobile phone.
Yes. So they'll just go to www.datskbedandbreakfast.co.za, right? And
Just give it to us again.
okay.
www.
No, I'm just making this up. So there's a B&B, right?
Okay.
So they'll go to newcastlepleasure.co.za or whatever your website is, if you've got your website, right? On the face of your website, and without them even going to bookings.com, on your website, with your contact details, they will be able to make a booking. Right? You do need, in the beginning, you might, if you are using one of these channels to get your product across, that's fine. So you're still paying that premium price for them. But as things change, that's going to come down and the rest will come up, where you can actually get more of your own money back. If you know what I mean. Right? But your website, all websites are available via your mobile phone. And it makes our lives so easy.
Thank you, Janine. Ladies and gentlemen, I think she deserves another round of applause. And thank you for engaging with her. This is what the seminar is about. JURNI.COZA. It is those who want the website address is www.journey.co.za. And I know that they also have a Facebook page. So I've gone onto the Facebook page and I've also subscribed. I think that is the most reliable thing to get notification in terms of where they are. Now that we have, thank you very much, Janine. I think you are allowed to leave whenever you feel like. Yeah. Now that we have a PA system, I would like to alert you that we have turned the seminar onto podcast. So we are podcasting live as we speak on Spreaker.com. It's available on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast. We're going live on Facebook and we're going live on Twitter. And the reason why we're doing that is just to maximize the impact that we are making. Why I'm announcing is also just to alert you so that you know that you are not only talking to us here, you're talking to other people who are following this event. And that's why I'm carrying this with me. And we will have the link available later if you want to hear yourself or you want to recap. I'll give the links to Landa, but also if you go onto my timeline, you'll get it. We are moving on. I'm looking forward to this next talk because I've had the opportunity to engage with the speaker before this morning. But just a reminder, the takeaway from Ms. Janine's talk is presence. Presence. The market have shifted and we are on digital space. Let me bring the next speaker. And she's going to address a very interesting topic. The topic is about the real estate industry as an integral part and underlying infrastructure basis for tourism industry. Specifically, she wants to focus on wealth creation through real estate in the tourism sector. Her name is Ntabiseng Lebohang Rapuling. She is the managing editor of Transform Real Estate Magazine and the founder and the CEO of NL Communications. She will tell you more about herself before she addresses the topic. Let's welcome her.
As introduced, my name is Ntabiseng Lebohang, and I was born and bred in the East Rand, where Crystal was born. That's where we identify the East Rand. But before most of you get too confused, I'm not planning on carrying on and talking in Sesotho, even though that would be very comfortable for me. As introduced, I am the founder and CEO of NL Communications. It's more like it's an integrated public relations and social and digital media agency, which uses different disciplines. So we understand that we have different target markets, and we can't ignore different people because of where or how they choose to access information. People will want to access information through old school media or traditional media, as we refer to it in the media or in our industry, which refers to television, radio, which is very impactful as well. But you still can't ignore the move to where we're going. So you also have to have a presence in the digital space. Hence the decision to present an agency which presents more of a digital offering to different markets, and also, wow, without breaking the brand, because I'm black and I'm all for black empowerment. Yeah. So another topic, and my journey as a PRP, the one thing that fascinated me to public relations was the fact that it allows you to learn and grow in different industries. I got introduced to industries like the legal fields, for instance. That's where my journey began. And then after the legal fields, then I was introduced to property. And with every undertaking that I venture into, I tend to internalize whatever it is that my company does. When I was working for a law firm, I was on some, hey, respect the law. Smaller things that will get you into trouble. Don't retweet that, might get you into trouble, right? But I went on to now join the real estate field. And during my stay there, I had to advise people about how they can make money through property. Going forward, I realized, okay, maybe I'm being two-faced, because I'm out here telling people there are many opportunities in real estate. I'm telling them how to go about them, but I'm not testing out the formula. It's different when you are in the market versus when you are just talking about an industry. So, legal field, you can't escape it, because I'm in business. Contracts have to be drawn, agreements have to be made, so I have to be protected. Now, going into real estate, how do I then take all of this insight that I've gotten from this industry and have shared with other people and use it to my advancement as well, and to my family's advancement. I'm a firm believer that it's not just about you. I like saying to my friends that this is my goal with all of my friends. I have this vision that we'll all pull up in a car wash with very masculine looking cars. I love cars. I'm a lover of sports cars. So we pull up in a car wash, okasi, tinted windows, and the first thing we take out is Zahao. Because when people see convoy at 2 pipe, they automatically think men. Yeah. But the minute you take your heel out, then you put some respect on it. But you put some respect on it because that's your hard-earned money. So now how do you get to that point? How do you get to a point where you can actually make money in a respective way as a young person or as a South African and still have your pride intact? There are many fields, and real estate and real estate and tourism are just one of the many. But for today, I'm literally just going to focus on those two. So, for real estate, one of our principles, we look at location. Before you buy, it can be a group story or whatever. Where is it located? That is the most important thing. It's not about how beautiful a property is. Where I come from, because I'm from Joburg, people place a lot of emphasis on the north. If you're not from the north, okay. Yeah, it's one of those. But it's not that because we're bragging about being in the north. No. It's the location and the opportunities that are in the north. So when you're in tourism and you're doing this as a business, you need to look into that as well. So buying a distressed property in a good location is actually way better than buying a fancy property in a location that your target market will not go. So I'm talking about target market. Who are these people? This is literally the first question you need to ask yourself. Who's paying? Because afterwards, what you decide on from there actually determines the direction you're going to take. Your target market actually advises you or gives you a structure on where to be the most vocal. It shows you how to package your offering. It's not just about being on a platform. So we look at platforms like your Airbnbs and bookings.com, great platforms. But when I look at a booking, I read my write-ups. How is your write-up written? It has to entice me. The thing with the tourism space is that it's like looking at the food industry as well. When a chef describes their menu, you can go to a fancy restaurant and order just a basic burger. But the chef will tell you, hey, we did whatever to this, and we did this, the onions, hey, keep burger. But because he came there and he did that presentation, paying 250 for a burger is justified. And you're like, they're not that expensive. And then you go to McDonald's drive-through, and you're like, 70 rand, basta. Brand positioning. How are you positioning your brand? So now you have all these platforms, which Janine spoke about. You have all these amazing platforms. How are you using them to the best of your ability? Are you giving the end user the full experience? When I go to Airbnb, I was actually planning a trip with my friends to Tanzania. So what appealed to me was how each description was written. Because I was like, can I imagine myself living in this place? Can this place give an answer to my needs? Can it give me what I need as an individual? Do I need to leave and look for other activities outside, or would my stay here be fulfilling? That's what your rent type should address. Another thing to keep in mind is, who is your target market? We have, the tourism sector is so interesting because we have, as much as it looks like you are just looking at your holiday makers, that's not your only target market. You also have corporates. Do the corporates around your area know about you? Have you made an effort to actually introduce yourself to those corporates? To the point that when they have an executive from Cape Town in Newcastle for 2 months, they would say, hey, Loli's bed and breakfast is the way to go because of 8 years. Have you positioned yourself in such a way that you're top of mind? If not, then you need to relook at your strategy because you need to have different revenue streams. People love complaining and saying the Ramaphosa administration is costing us money. No, it's forcing us to be creative. It's forcing us to look at other means to make money and to make the most of what we have. That's what it does. The thing is, what my mentor likes saying is that when you step on a flower, what comes out is the scent. So you need to now think about the situation that we are in as a country. And now, with the declining economic situation, what comes out when you are pressed? Are you becoming more creative? Or are you just rolling with the punches and just saying, it's not my fault? If that's the approach you're taking, then trust me, your competitors are not taking the same approach. They're looking at opportunities around the industry. So back to real estate. So what I also love about the real estate industry, and what really sold me on this industry, is that real estate is the only asset that you can actually acquire with the bank's funding, and which actually appreciates over time. But when done when done properly, you can actually not pay that money yourself. You can go the route of getting a home loan. We all know what home loans are, right? Mm-hmm. You get a home loan, and let's say you're staying at home with family or whoever, or Mako. So you're staying with Koko. Koko never kicked you out of our house. So don't leave yet. She's still alive. Enjoy that. You're staying with Ukoko at her house, or Uma at her house, but you can buy a property. And I always say this to young people as well. The first thing you buy shouldn't be that fancy car. Buy a car that can get you from point A to point B. But look at buying property. Look into buying property. Because whilst you're still staying with your parents, my mom used to say to me, groceries, my girl, yeah, I'm fine. You don't need to stress about that. Oh, nice. That's that's really nice. So I don't have to stress about that. So where am I going to spend the money? What sentence it? No. Where are you spending your money? Buy a property, rent it out when you're still comfortable and living with your family. And then get someone else to pay that bond for you. Get someone to pay that bond. And then the extra money that you have, then use that money to actually support that bond so you can pay it up quickly. When I was in real estate, I used to listen to people saying, hey, a home loan or a bond is a 20-year trap. It's not. I've seen people pay off their home loans in 5 years. It can be done. I've seen a couple, they actually used to be my favorite couple. They bought a home, and then instead of moving into the home, they lived in the garage. They lived, not even a cottage, they lived in the garage. And then, so their family didn't know that, so they avoided black tax, which is very strategic. So they stayed in the garage, and everyone thought, they're just renting. And then afterwards, they rented out the house, the outside rooms, and the other cottage. The profit they made from that was enough to actually help them and with their salaries as well, allowed them to pay the bond within a year. Within a year. The following year, when I met that same couple, they were saying, hey, we want to buy another property. And I was like, Zakipala. And they bought a property. But what was funny was that now that they had this property, they were like, we're going to move into the cottages type. Because they were like, why must I pay my bond when I can get someone else who doesn't want to go to the bank and get a home loan to pay the bond for me? So they moved into the cottage. I was like, you guys are cheapskates. So they now have 2 properties and they opened a trust for their 2 children. So the children, the other one was 3 and the other one was a newborn. You're 3 years old and you own an asset which is appreciating over time. That's how we break the poverty curse. That's how we now change the narrative. That's how you now have young people studying and going to the work field and actually now saying, this is what my passion is and I'm going to see it through. Because I don't need this job for survival. I can survive from my passive income, from this property that my parents acquired for me. Now, we used to do this as Black people. We used to buy e-key when a person turns 21. Let's turn those keys into actual keys that people can actually open opportunities to. Let's get proper keys. Let's stop buying plastic things. We buy plastic things for our young children, and when they're not achieving, we get shocked. No, you started the trend. So if you are not happy, blame yourself. Why didn't you get me a smaller and a 1-bedroom that I can rent out while I'm still living in your house instead of a plastic key? What am I going to do with a plastic key? Who still has a room divided? Guys, no. Let's now change certain principles that were done by our grandparents. They did it because they wanted to inspire something. We need to now move with the time. The same way that technology is moving, let's also be progressive in our thinking. So we buy properties for young people as well, and then they rent them out, and by the time the person is 30, they have how many properties that they're renting out? A lot. Maybe 3, maybe? And then they're worth how much? Which brings me to this question. How many of us here own a house? Actual thing. Living in a property. Okay, don't be shy. I'm not going to ask you for money. Okay. How much is the value of your property today? Only one person knows. Oh, you know. 2 people know. That is your asset. You could literally be a millionaire. If your property is worth $1 million, you own an asset worth $1 million, which means that you are a millionaire. So you need to change your thinking. But in order for you to get to that point, you need to now look at re-evaluate. So I'm gonna literally give you guys a test. After this, call a Remax or call another property agency and ask them to re-evaluate your property. I'm thinking of putting this house on the market. How much is it worth? Because that is exactly why you find people that live in RDP houses selling their houses for 30,000 rand. Because they don't know the value of what they have. People sell property for less than the value because they don't know. You meet with a real estate agent and they say, 200,000. Really? After all these renovations, you must be joking. So get different opinions as well. Find out the value of your property because that speaks to your asset and it appreciates over time. The more Newcastle develops, the more the value of your property grows. I like saying, because I moved as well into more of a farming set area. Yeah, he's fine. But I was saying, there's a plot next door. And I was telling my sister, I was like, I'm praying that the person who buys the plot next door actually builds a double-story house. because that's going to boost the value of a love about property. You benefit from your surroundings. The more the government invest in the infrastructure and whatnot, the more you benefit as a property owner. So why not? Bank pays for the home loan, get a tenant, they pay the home loan for you. You take your income, you boost the home loan, and you pay it off quickly, and now you have an asset. You use that home loan, that home, as leverage. You get another property which you can live in. You avoid black tax because everyone thinks that that's your first property and you need to settle. Meanwhile, you have passive income elsewhere. Why not? Why not explore the model? So, that is the one thing, well, one of the many things I love about real estate. So, the 3 principles to always keep in mind when investing in real estate are you guys ready? Because these are important. You can forget every single thing I say, not this. Okay, not everything, but most of the things I'm going to say. So the 3 principles to always keep in mind when investing in real estate are location, and location. That's it. A distressed property in a good location is worth more than a 3-story property in a location that is known for riots. Keep that in mind. Especially when you want to rent it out or you want to flip it into an Airbnb as well. Okay, which leads me to the tourism sector, which is one of the fastest growing sectors in this country. So the one thing I love about the tourism sector is that it's also very inclusive. We always talk about Airbnbs and transport industry and whatnot, and the food industry. But when you look at accommodation, that's also inclusive. For instance, you don't need to have a home or to have a house in order to participate in the market. One of the biggest companies in the transport sector is Uber. Does Uber own any cars? Yep. And then we look at Airbnb. Do they own any properties? Not that I know of. So what's stopping you from, as people in the sector, from coming together and building your own Airbnb? You know what your target market is looking for. You know what appeals to them. You get a web designer to design an app for you. And then you guys make money from the market. So, yes, now it's cutting down on certain costs. But say I don't have an Airbnb and I'm just a whiz when it comes to technology. I'm going to give you now another app. The new Airbnb, which caters to the South African market and presents actually packages what you guys are looking for or what the South African traveler wants more. If I do that and I take a certain commission, okay, they mentioned 20%, which will the other portal. So I say no. Instead of spending 20% of your booking on me, I'm going to charge you 10%. I'm very generous. Use my portal. And now you add on, because now you do your research about the industry itself. You know what people are looking for in your market. No one knows the South African market better than you do. And then you take what you know and you package it in a way that will appeal to people that are not in the country. I was looking at stats and they were very interesting. And some people were saying that based on the stats, the percentage of travelers from outside of SA declined. But in the same light, the percentage of travelers, domestic travelers, increased. Wow, that's an amazing opportunity. So you're speaking to one of your own. So why not tap into that? A good example of that is this trend that we all love, especially young people, excuse me, because I'm very young. When we talk about music, you have hip-hop, you have R&B, blah, 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 and you have Amapiano. Do you have Amapiano in the US? Do you have him in Nigeria? Are those people in that sector making a lot of money from that? Trust me, they are. Because they took their own thing, what makes them who they are, and they capitalized from it. So also, you can also do that in the tourism sector. Look at the industry that you're in, come up with an app that addresses the people's needs, and then give them competitive rates. Capitec did that in the banking sector, and they're doing very well now. Most banks retrenched, Capitec didn't. So why can't you be the Capitec of the tourism sector? What's stopping you? Sorry, I need to refer to my notes. Okay, so how you can also achieve this is by leveraging existing relationship with owners in your area in order to start this app. Network with others, build bonds from events such as these. Gone are the days when we just attend pictures just to check in on Facebook. You need or take exchange business cards which end up, either filling out drawers or decorating our dumpsters. Gone are the days where we just do that, where we literally just attend events and exchange business cards just for bragging rights. You need to now follow suit. Take that conversation and build something out of it. And who knows what you can achieve from it. Good example, most people are now tapping into property stock files. Most of our parents and grandparents go to stock file and it's almost festive season, it's almost December. And what happens is they buy groceries for days and Macro or Pick and Pay or whichever shop makes a fortune from it. But have you ever thought about what would happen if you took that money that you are going to spend on Macro and you actually invested in buying a chain of properties and opening a trust for that stock fair? And then later on, dividing the dividends. So in December, instead of dividing flour, really choice assorted, and JURNI, let's divide the dividends from our investments. Let's change. It's a beautiful model, but it just needs to be refined. Same as the 21st key. Please don't buy your kids that. They can't post it on Instagram. And then now that I'm speaking about, yes, the most important thing, keep your target market in mind. From your wording on your description to the pictures that you use to the activities that you've listed that are around your area. List every single thing. Everything has to be very deliberate. You can't just now mention, and by the way, there's that, Koje, what's that place there? No. Think about your target market. If you want to target corporates, be aggressive there. Now, position your area in such a way that you are selling a very beautiful, comfortable stay, which is not too far from all the beautiful amenities, but it's also secluded. So after their hard days at work, they can also find their peace of mind. Some people still want to cook. I have a nephew who literally, when you ask him what do you want for breakfast, he'll say, Papa Kanam. And you're like, what about cereal? And he's like, about cereal, but Papa Kanam. So, when I look at accommodation, trust me, a stove is very important. We've shied away, when you take family vacations, we've shied away from hotels because there's no stove. Where am I going to get Papa Kanama a shop? in the morning at 8 a.m. Where am I going to get papakana? So, also, you need to now adapt. When a person is traveling for work, and let's say they stay at your accommodation for 2 months, they're going to miss home. What are the touches that you've added there that are going to make them feel very comfortable? Yes, I'm going to get tired of eating out. Yes, fast food is great, but sometimes I want to cook. Does your accommodation cater to that? And most importantly, I don't want to watch these channels that most of you subject us to. That's the first thing I do when I check in. I look at the channels and I'm like, yo, I say JURNI. Because I want to know what's going on. And for me, Channel Africa, Channel News Africa and ENCA, that's where I get my news. So when I'm checking in and I can't even get ENCA at home, and then now I must go back to SABC. 2000 cold, get a better bouquet. People want to be informed, cater to their needs. It's amazing what a channel like also, what's this? Channel O, the value that it adds. Because then you are making me stay in. And now when I'm in, you can actually entice me with other things. There's a spa in Senton that is doing very well. And what they do is they give you massages outside. You all have beautiful properties with pools and a lapa. Have you thought about partnering with a masseuse? That's a nice experience. We'll pay, it's fine. But now you're giving me a full experience. Now I'm staying in and you're showing me other things that I can invest in before leaving your house, before leaving your property, your establishment. So be creative, don't be shy. Be creative. Once you've identified who your target market is, play, but also grow with your target market. Figure out what their needs are and grow with them. Okay, now that I've spoken about target markets, which is very important, for PR, I'm going to ask you a question. So, I think, okay, who of you saw the KFC proposal? Or heard about it? If you don't leave another rock, raise your hand. Okay. So, I'm going to ask you questions, man. If money was not an issue, and you could book anyway to make that significant other feel special for that proposal, before proposing. And ladies can also propose nowadays, okay? So, ladies, you're not exempt from this question. But if you wanted to make your partner feel special, like super special, and money was not an issue, where were you gonna book? Which hotels or an Airbnb did you look at and you were like, yes, yeah, this is it. And then, if you wanted to celebrate your friend's birthday, maybe your friend is turning 30, and you wanted to go away for a few days, where were you gonna book? And back to business, you're traveling, you're going out of your province for 3 months, and you're looking for a comfortable stay. Where would you book? I'm sure as I was asking these questions, certain places came to mind. Now that's the power of brand positioning. Being top of mind in your consumers, in the mind of the consumer. And that's what good branding does for you. Good PR does that for you. When you package your company or your offering well, you remain top of mind. And it adds on to your equity as well. There's a reason why people don't mind spending a lot of money for Coca-Cola versus the other generic brands. people will complain about spending a lot of money on, there's this brand, Elokchini, that they used to call Agasebenzi. It's that cold drink that they sell in the tuck shops, that's 2-liter cold drink. And yeah, so you look at that cold drink or you look at a Pepsi. When you're looking at a Pepsi, already in your mind you're like, I'm not going to spend over this amount. But you go to Coke and they say at the garage it's 20 something rand. You're like, okay, sure, you pay willingly. Now that's the power of good brand positioning. Good brand positioning adds to your equity. You now get to charge the prices, the kind of prices that you want to charge, that will make running your business lucrative for you and like very nice for you. It's one thing being an entrepreneur, but it's very fulfilling making a profit from your business. Nothing beats being rich out of something that you are very passionate about. So if you're passionate about a certain sector, find ways in which you can position it in such a way that you are not only just giving people what they need, but you can also charge what you need to charge in order to make money. Okay. Now about PR. So I've heard a lot of things about my field. Some people call us field doctors. Some people call us liars. And yeah, those are the biggest ones. But what people don't realize is that PR is not about spin doctoring. We're not spinning anything. There isn't anything to begin with. We look at the versions of the truth and we package them in such a way that will appeal to our service market. So, if it would appeal to my customer's target market for my customer to apologize at this point in time and admit that they're wrong, I will say, there's a review that I read about you, and based on this review, you're not looking good. So what I'm going to suggest is that you apologize and sound very remorseful instead of coming off as defensive. That shows people that you're someone that they can engage with. Also, keeping quiet is also not good. I've seen reviews about dirty sheets. I've seen reviews about racist attacks. I've seen reviews about rude personnel for the BNPs. And no matter how beautiful your establishment is, I'm not going to book them because of that review. But if the establishment comes back and says, we apologize for your bad experience, we have since fixed it, and we promise you that the next time you come here, you will leave with a smile on your face. Now, when I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, they've identified, I showed them the problem, which they were not aware of. They fixed it, and now I can now walk here. When you're in the tourism sector, you also have to keep in mind that you are selling more than just accommodation, you're selling an experience. Some of our best memories are built from your accommodations. So package it in such a way that will appeal to us. Tell stories and make it a memorable stay. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to have all these crazy things like embellishments. But do every single thing keeping in mind that as much as it looks like a smaller little thing, that is the story I'm going to tell my friends about my stay in Newcastle, and your place is going to come up. So whether you like it or not, that your accommodation is going to be a part of my journey. So make the most of it. Thank you.
Wow.
I'll take questions.
Thank you. We'll leave that for the panel discussion. Very insightful. Very insightful. Thank you so much for being generous with your insights. On that note, I'm going to ask the owners of this beautiful bed and We call them B&B? Okay. Bed and breakfast. I'm going to ask them to go to their stalls, and then I'm going to ask you to stand up. My colleague, I want you to give each one of them a mic. They just say their name, because I also can't pronounce the names of their companies. I don't want to cause damage to the brand position. So they'll say their names and where they are located, and then invite you whenever you have time to come and see them. Because we can't be sitting here talking about them. They are here and we don't acknowledge them. My brother from the CEDA has already acknowledged them, but let's know them, because I'm booked in one of them and I'm glad it's here, and I must say, it's much better than a hotel. Yeah. So please, if you can just quickly use a few minutes to do that, because it was not in the plan. It's just me feeling that, they've done hard work in coming here and being with us. Last time we had the conference that other side, and the expedition was here, and it didn't work. This is the best arrangement. Quickly just do that, and then I ask you just to stand up and just also stretch your legs, but just look at them. This side, please. Yeah. Yes. And there's a brother as you enter on the left side. He is busy designing some beautiful stuff, shoes. Yeah. Please also go and have a look. I don't want us to waste too much time. I just really want to acknowledge them for the great work. Maybe I should go to them. Can I tell you the secret? That's where I'm sleeping. This is where I'm accommodated. Just quickly.
Hello everyone. I'm Newcastle, the owner of Loris BB. We are located in Mando Park, number 56 Ufolos Avenue. We're still growing, and we wish we could get people, if possible, that can kindly help us so that we really grow and be able to meet the needs of all our guests.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Good day, everyone. My name is Nontlantla Khumalo. I'm from Sentoka Guest House. It's located in Sunnyridge. It's a green-edge suburb up there. We call that side Entabeni here in Newcastle. It's a beautiful place. Not the guest house per se, but the place, the surroundings. It's green-edged, it's beautiful, it's peaceful. And when you come there, we really try to sell an experience. We really try to sell an experience rather than selling beds and breakfast and stuff. We want you to tell a story about Newcastle and the people of Newcastle. We do invite people, to come over and share their experience with us. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This side.
Hello. Samunani. Yes. Janine. Okay, my name is Janine. I'm from Isarula BNP. Isarula BNP is right in the center of the township. It was established to promote township policy. We cater events. Actually, there are two BNPs in the township. One is in Section 5, and there's a new one which is about to be created. It's in a Muscat, in the center of a rural area, because we want to promote, to develop the people. Then we want to invite all other people from the township, because most people are living in the urban areas, the Mafleti. But we want them to come and experience our township. And most of the time we do weddings, we do the parties, what do you call them, the showers, shower. Our BNB in Section 5 is a three-star. It's graded. It has 10 rooms. It has a bar. It has a dining room, a dining hall, which caters for 50 people. And then the other one, which is a self-catering, it also has 10 rooms, and each and every room is well catered. And I wish you can come and visit. Particularly, I want to promote the one that is in Maskra. I love it, it's too big, and I'm inviting everyone. And then particularly the people from Matadini. I'm experiencing all over the world they are coming to Matadini, but I don't see them. They're the ones that are staying here. Please come, and next time you must come, sir, to come and visit our people.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Let's come here. Yeah, sorry.
Sanmonani, Dumelang. Good day. I'm Lindu Mkiza, and the owner of and the director of the Ikwat Enterprise. I'm a tour operator. I'm the only one who's doing all these historical and attractive places around Newcastle, so that everyone can know what exactly we have in our places under Amajuba, Newcastle. I'm establishing this company from 2014 up until now. It's still operating. I'm doing all the transfers from here up until to Durban, from here to all over KZN, from here to all over the international, and because I'm also getting the trainings under TKZN, getting the trainings under my SIDA as a business advisor, and under Amajuba district. They train me very well to sell all the properties that are under Amajuba district. I'm the one who putting all these BNPs so that everyone who come to Newcastle knows that we have Sakabulas, we have Sintoka, we are all over these black people, that they can go to the location and do all these things. Shisanyamas, get like enjoy yourself at scrapyard at night, all those things.
Lovely.
Chaibo show, with everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sanibonani, good day. Umam Dudu Kupeka, the owner of Dude's Guest House. Ikhona la idrobheni, uhamba ngo-Drakensberg, uthi uya entabeni, ilapha nje ekhoneni lika-Begonia, indawo enhle. Isiqubulo sethu nje ubuclean, ulala kamnandi endaweni clean epholile. Ingadi yethu uyathanda mawulele khona. Ngiyababona abaningi aseke bebalala khona, bayavumelana nami phakamisisana. Sicela isupport, qhubeke nokusupport abantu bakithi. Sisomabhizinisi abancane abasafufusa, kodwa sizokhula uma nina nisinika isupport. Indawo yethu ithatha inamarumu awu-15 okwamanje. Sinane hall mawufuna ukubamba umhlangano noma ushada unganabo abantu abaningi kakhulu. Ihall lethu li-accommodate up to 50. sinawo ama-self-catering rooms, nje indawo enhle. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you very much.
Sanibonani. My name is Nozipho Zwane, the owner of Newcastle Pleasure Guest House. I don't know what to say in Taniseng. You make me feel like to go forward in this business. Thank you so very much for everything that you said. In our guest house, we are offering everything that you can think of. You can come in this table, you'll get every information that you need. We are still new in this business, but we corner, and I'm coming. And I'm looking forward to take the level up there. As you see there, my motto is, I believe in simplicity and the cleanliness. Cleanliness is the name of the game. Definitely, I just want to make people feel welcoming if they get there. And classy is the name of the game. And I promise you guys, if you come to our guest house, you will feel very comfortable. You'll get everything that you want. Thank you so very much to give me a chance. I thank you.
Let's give a clap again. Yes. Let him bring one shoe. Bring some two. Thank you. We just want to introduce you to our brother who's making shoes here. Sorry. You want to sit down or you're fine? Yeah? Yeah. Can we borrow us the yeah? Okay. The mic.
Sanibonani, igama lami uNkosikazi kaMncango, i-director yabezothando project. Yenza umsebenzi wezandla nobona ama-painted case lawa, icathulo, amasendlisa ahlukahlukene. Engakusho ngalo msebenzi equality, yenza equality yodwa. Ungawuthanda masusunawo, angeke akusile engasheshi nokuguga. Ngiyakanada lapho umsebenzi omuhle kakhulu, ngenza nje umsebenzi ohlukene namateki futhi ukuthi angwaphethe kwamanje awo mhlawumbe uthanda amateki nawo ngiyawenza futhi ngokuhlala ngisemndawoji.
Thank you. Thank you. Open mine. Okay. Thank you very much. Tavising, thank you very much for inspiring this little exercise. As you were speaking, I realized that we could actually, at the same time, give these people the opportunity to tell us about their business. And I hope as well, and you can see, there's no need for competition that is negative. Whenever you are fully booked, make sure that your overflow goes to the next B&B. And that is the whole idea, that we need to see each other as collaborators in this ecosystem of tourism. And if you grow Newcastle, you grow business for everybody. I'm coming for the second time, and I must tell you, I think we are making progress. Without wasting time, I want to call the next speaker. And by the way, the beauty is that these entrepreneurs, they were talking to you, but actually they were talking to the whole world. I told you that we are podcasting live. So definitely somebody somewhere is hearing it, and hopefully something comes out of it. The next speaker, wow. You know, we have diversity of topics that are all very related to tourism. Yeah? And I'm happy that we are also addressing issues of environmental sustainability. Because tourism is one industry that is everybody participate, but it's one industry that can also destroy the environment. You agree? Yeah? So I want to introduce this next speaker, I also had the opportunity yesterday to engage with her. It's always wonderful when you are going to have a program and the speakers come a day before, because you are able to engage with them and prepare. Her topic is exploring opportunities for a green economy in tourism. The development of tourism must be in the green economy that will increase the employment potential, socio-economic growth, preservation of natural, cultural, and architectural heritage, as well as the use of natural resources that will be provided and ensuring reliability and sustainability of consumption. Her name is Zongo Didiza. She is the CEO of Green Building Design Group. She's ready to address us. My sister, come forward, please. The time is yours. Let's welcome her. Is she going to use the slides? Okay. You can be introducing yourself while they're sorting out your slides.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam. Good morning. How is everyone today? We're ready for the industrial revolution. Yes. No, it doesn't sound very confident. I need a bit of more of a warmth, some energy. Are we ready for the fourth industrial revolution? Much better. Before I start, I'd just like to also just thank the organizers, the visionaries behind this event, particularly Mklan, Sylvia, who I met 10 years ago. No, 15 years ago. We're both students at Wits University. And I knew him as a soccer player at the time. I see now he's also having his own revolution. He's now evolved to be pioneering, particularly in space here in Newcastle. And Sam Zima, who I met also around 2010. We were doing some work, the company that I was working for at the time, we were doing some work at Gibbs, which is a business school in Johannesburg. Sam, I've always been a fan, always watched you, when you conduct yourself. But just, as a real person of the people, I always looked up to you. All right, I think then just a bit about myself. My name is Saul Titiza. I'm from the Eastern Cape. Who knows the Eastern Cape? The province is in South Africa. I like Dr. Singh's presentation. One of the things that resonated with me was when you spoke about brand positioning. And I like this because this is something that we do very well in the Eastern Cape. I don't know if you know this famous plant that not a lot of people know about. It was actually, the Eastern Cape is very famous for this plant. It's a plant, isn't it? So, but when you set it on fire, it adds to your realization. This plant used to be quite illegal for a very long time. In South Africa, I understand now that it's quite popular, it's been legalized. and that's how the green economy started, really. This plant. No, I'm just joking. So a bit about myself. I'm actually an ecopreneur. What an ecopreneur is somebody who loves the environment, who's passionate about the environment, but also is making money, in the environment. And that's really the departure point for today's presentation. As I mentioned before, I've known Sam for 10 years. I've known him since varsity days. I started my journey in this green economy at Wits. I studied economics at Wits. And my main thing when I was studying at Wits was understanding how resources flow in an economy. Talking about resources, we're talking about water, energy, all the resources that you can possibly think of. And that was my interest. And I think it kind of led me to this journey. for various reasons. When I finished my degree, that's 2009, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a time where you couldn't quite switch on your lights because our state utility was saying no. You were paying for it, but there was this famous thing we had in the country called load shedding. So that's what started this journey for me when we had that big load shedding experience in 2009. And I was working as a consultant at the time. I mentioned that's where I met Sam. I was actually, for the company that I was working for, I was advising big corporates on BE, broad-based Black economic empowerment. And we used to advise huge multinationals basically on bringing BE in their supply chains. And one of my clients at the time was selling coal to Eskom. So as a consultant, I was happy. We had a big client that was selling coal to Eskom, a big mining giant in South Africa. And when we had the load shedding, so here's the thing, what happened. I was invited to a protest, environmental protest, by an NGO called Greenpeace. I don't know if you know Greenpeace. So what these guys do is they basically just make problems for a lot of polluters. I was invited to this coal protest, and just so you know, when I get to the coal protest, mind you, coal protest, my client is selling coal to Eskom. So I get invited in my personal capacity on a Saturday to go and attend this protest. I kid you not, I get to the protest, there's TV people there, SABC is covering the event. I'm being called by some news reporter to talk about why I'm here. So news reporter came and they asked me why I was there. My name is there showing, consultant, talking about now why I'm here. This was a Saturday. Came Monday when this when the news was televised. My project manager, my client was like, Mr. Dizzy, I think you really need to decide which side you're on. You can't be helping us sell coal on the one end and then telling us to stop selling coal on the other end. So that's how I started my journey. Yes? Is everything? Okay, that's fine, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Just told me that the issue with the presentation slide that I can just talk to you, and I'll be more than happy to share what's in the presentation slide. So that is, where was I? I was talking about when now I was basically fired by my client. By my client who said, well, go and join the Greenpeace people. I didn't join the Greenpeace people. I went to school, I went to do my postgrad at Stellenbosch University. Those who know Stellenbosch University know it's a bit similar to this town, actually. Some parallels to this town. Why? Because for its historical significance. Stellenbosch is probably the richest, one of the richest, wealthiest towns. One of the richest, wealthiest towns that we have in this country. Why? It's a technology hub. A lot of, you mentioned it before, some of the banks, some of the innovative technologies have come out of Stellenbosch. They've got leading institutions. They've got, if you think about retail, it really is our hub in South Africa, technology hub in South Africa. And also, Stellenbosch, as we all know, doesn't have such a good history in terms of inclusiveness. And why I liken it to this town particularly, Newcastle, it's also its historical significance. Who knows the Anglo-Boer War from back in the day? Do you know that the Anglos, the Boers, as the Americans call them, the Boers, the Boers and the Boers and the English, they fought, they battled here in this town. So it's got historical significance. So for those of you who are playing space tourism, it's also about information. I think Tim saying, touch on this brand positioning information. But people that come visit your guest houses, educate them about the historical significance. And I tell this because I found out about this battle between the Anglo-Boer War. I was in Washington, D.C. And I was visiting an African museum, just finding out about the historical significance of Washington, D.C. And then they were so amazed about our own revolution in South Africa. I'm like, I didn't even know that it happened in Newcastle. So sometimes you gotta leave your country to find out more about your country. Yeah. which is sad, but also it's very important to note, because we travel, guys. We go to cities, whether it be around outside your own city, outside your own country, outside your own continent, and you get to find out when you visit other cities. They tell you about things that happened in the past. You know, structures that were built in the past. They love their buildings. You know, they love the fact that their buildings last for 400 to 500 years. And you know what we do? We don't want to focus on history. We want to focus on the future. We don't want to talk about the fact that a mud house, kind. I don't know what it is in Isuzu. Maybe you can help me. What is a mud house in Isuzu? In Natal. Do you know that in mud house is one of the greenest, environmentally friendly structures that exist in the world today? And where is it built? Yeah. We are the IP, intellectual property holders of Imad House. But what are we going to do? When we build new buildings, we want so much glass. Why so much glass when there's so much sun coming in? Because we want to look like Europe. No, we must be like ourselves. We must take pride in ourselves. And this is where tourism plays a big role. You people here, particularly the entrepreneurs, you are sitting with the knowledge. You know, when people come and visit your city, they want to be taken to, you know, the natural environment, as we like to call it. They want to be taken to the museums where the battle was won. Amajuma, you know? You really are the holders. So, I'll talk about a bit about my organization. Is what we do is I founded this company, Green Building Design Group. It's very much a baby on its own. It's 4 years old. I call it a toddler of mine that's now starting to walk and starting to run. What we do is we helping cities. We work with cities, metros, as we call them in South Africa, and basically closing the knowledge gap. I talk about closing the knowledge gap is I spoke about the fact that the way that we used to build in South Africa, what we call it, we were so smart. Our architects back in the day of 1600 were so smart. We had this thing called a passive design principle. What a passive design principle is that you design a house, when you drop your plans, you design with the sun in mind. Because you know, in summer, the sun is at a certain angle. It hits your roof at a certain angle, your windows at a certain angle. So it's passive design, in the sense that you know, in winter, the sun is probably much lower, so that's why we have a roof hanger. And you design it for a certain level. Also, you know that we love, because we get so much sun, we want big windows. We don't want small windows. We want to keep our doors open most of the time to let the air in. What do they do in Europe? They want small windows. They want to insulate as much as possible because it's a cold climate. So that's a lot of the work that we do in my organization is we work with metros in designing building codes, energy efficiency building codes. And one of the things that we really want to be doing is, because we partner with large entities like financiers. So the project that I'm talking about now is we're working with the World Bank, for instance, and they're helping us help the cities understand energy efficiency, design building codes that are energy efficiency, water efficiency, and resource efficiency inclined. And one of the things that we want to do in expanding this project is coming to smaller cities. And I say smaller cities because when I drove into Newcastle, it's not just a town. It's a small city in its own right. And how does a city become a city? It's through the economic activities that build up. It's the economic activities, and it expands. In infrastructure development, we talk about the nodes. And I'm already seeing that here in Newcastle. And the people that are going to take this city, this big town, and merge it into a big city, is the people that are sitting in this room. It's the entrepreneurs. You are the ones who are selling stuff, who are selling goods, who are trading one another, who are sharing information. That's how a city becomes a city. So it's in your hands, no pressure, but and then obviously there's organizations like us that can help you in your journey. So in the work that we do as well, we also advise on tax incentives. And there's quite a lot of these, especially with the green economy in mind. First of all, maybe I didn't define the green economy when I started. So green economy is effectively doing more with less. It's bringing resource efficiencies. I spoke earlier on, but my initial interest in this was understanding how resources move in an economy. So the resources that I'm talking about, it's energy, it's water, it's building materials. That's a resource efficient economy. And then it's low carbon. Talk about low carbon. It's reducing air pollution levels. I don't know if you've seen what's happening in China and in India. You have to put, what is it called? You put a mask just to walk in a city in China because the air pollution is so bad. And I told my friends at ESCOM 10 years ago that they need to stop building these coal power plants because we're going to end up like China in the future. So what a green economy is trying to do is reduce the resources that we use to build, to power our industries, to power technology, to reduce that, but to also lower the carbon, which is greenhouse gases, which is basically reducing the pollution. And then what the green economy is trying to do is to create social inclusion. You guys mentioned my town in Stellenbosch. One of the wealthiest towns we have in South Africa, probably one of the wealthiest towns on a GDP per capita rate is Stellenbosch. Is to not be like a Stellenbosch, where this amount of people have the wealth, and then these amount of people have the poor, not the wealth, the opposite of the wealth. So it's a green economy. What we very much try and do is create those resource efficiencies in the broader case economy, but also most importantly to create social inclusion, to make sure that the jobs that we're talking about are very much reached at all levels of society. So when we talk about green jobs, what are we talking about? These jobs exist in all the sectors. In manufacturing, in construction, we talk about green buildings, greening the construction, green design. Companies called green design. We work with architects, engineers, and ensuring that they bring in these passive design principles in their design process. It's also, but most importantly, it's also in travel and tourism. And I think this is where the majority of the people here have a big role to play in creating those green jobs. Why I say that, and I'll link it back to my point around, I mentioned that we advise on tax incentives. So one of the things that the South African government is doing very well is they're starting to introduce policies to drive the green economy. One of the main, most important policy we have, which we were unfortunately yet to implement, is the National Development Plan. You guys remember the document? It's very much a document, though, it's supposed to be our economic blueprint towards the future, towards 2030. And that particular document talks about the green economy. And one of the areas that it's pinpointed is tourism. But what the government has also done is they've introduced tax incentives for people like yourselves to play in the space. You spoke about information, I always reinforce it again, is there's quite a lot of tax incentives. For instance, if you put solar on your roof, you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you don't have to pay for it yourself. You can go to the IDC and apply for funding, and they effectively pay for the solar PV panel. If you guys know what a solar PV panel is. So solar PV panel is basically it takes electricity from the sun and then creates that into energy from the sun. Uses energy from the sun and then it creates that into direct electricity, direct current, and then you can use that in your business to power your homes, to even to power your cars. We are viable in this green economy. We're even driving cars that are powered with solar these days. So we're moving. So I want to just come back to this point around tax incentives, and this is why I think this is where you can also reach out to these, because one of the things that the IDC has said is that we're getting applications from the big metros, but we're not getting applications from outside the big metros. And for me, South Africa is really outside the big metros. There's very little that can be done to fix the big cities. Our own president talks about a smart city. The smart cities are going to come from here. You know, because why? Smaller cities are a bit more agile. You can innovate here. You can introduce technology. Tabi Sen spoke about why not create your own Uber? Why not create? I didn't see an Uber app. I tried to go in the Uber app this morning. I couldn't get Uber. Why not create your own Uber? Why not create your own Airbnb for this region? Nothing's stopping you. That's the beauty of a smaller city, is that you can innovate a bit more. You can work outside. We were also talking about the public procurement process with Utlanda yesterday. They were saying, they don't want to buy from small businesses. I'm like, no. It's not that they don't want to, municipalities don't want to buy from small businesses because they don't have a database of where you guys sit. So as much as we say government doesn't want to do business with small businesses, we also have to stand up and say we're here. We've registered our businesses. We have the capability to deliver. We can also collaborate amongst ourselves where we lack. And I think, and I believe also as small businesses are something that we often, we get to share information like, no, they're going to steal my idea. They're going to steal my clients. One of the things that, and I'm sorry to say this, but it's true. One of the things that the Jews and the Indians have done very well, and I mean that from a global, is really collaboration. One of the speakers spoke about collaboration. And as SMEs, particularly in this tourism space, we're really going to think about collaborating. Okay, I don't even know where I am in my slides, but I'll just continue. But I think there's something that I wanted to show you from here. Yeah, this thing is now upsetting me. Is it my focus? I don't even know how to use that. But in any case, I spoke about collaboration. I spoke also about information. The information is really at your doorstep. And that, for me, that encyclopedia is Google. You can literally Google search. We spoke about history. And just that fact that there's so much history in this town. Thank you. There's so much history in this town. You as in this tourism sector can really leverage from that. I had some images that I want to actually share on the green economy that we like to talk about. And really the beauty about the green economy is that, like I said, it cuts across all those industries. Agriculture, mining, minerals, finance, there's tax incentives. There's banks that are starting to also offer favorable loans if you want to put solar PV on your roof, if you want to do an energy efficiency project. And also one other big thing that we already have in South Africa is water problem. When was the last time it rained in Newcastle? It's raining less and less. It's climate change. Climate change is causing all of this. And banks are also starting to wake up to this, which is why they're starting to introduce favorable finance packages. And then once again, as the tourism sector, you really are the ones that hold the key. So I wanted to share this slide. I spoke about the National Development Plan earlier on. What the National Development Plan has done very well, we did this a long time ago, it took a bit long to get to this point, is it said for South Africa to develop, for South Africa to create these jobs, for South Africa to be globally competitive, we need energy. Eskom hasn't quite done that job very well. We do have a lot of coal, but what is obviously seen is that because renewable energy is now quite competitive, the South African government is going to be procuring from independent power producers. So I'm going to ask you this question. You sitting there, what's stopping you in your guest house, in your business, generating your own solar? Remember, you can use money that's not yours. You can go to the banks, you can go to the IDCs, there's grants available, and generate your own power, take that power, sell it back to the municipality. Because that policy, National Development Plan, allows for that to happen. So just something to think about. No pressure, but it's just an idea. And that policy, the National Development Plan, enables that. Who knows this photo? Then it's a very naughty photo of mine. But once again, we need energy. We need energy to power businesses. I will reinforce this more and more. We need energy for the fourth industrial revolution. Energy is going to play a big role, and I do believe people sitting here can really unlock the opportunities, and also add new revenue streams. Because if you're selling electricity back to the municipality, it's a whole new revenue stream for your business. And once again, using money that's not particularly yours. Grant funding, tax incentives, you name it. Okay. I won't talk too much about this slide. I'll share the presentation, but just linked to the National Development Plan, it's just some of the targets that the government has set. There isn't a specific target for the tourism sector, but all you have to know at this point is that everything is aligned. South African government wants to reduce energy consumption across all sectors, and tourism is part of that. I spoke a bit about energy efficiency. It's really doing more with less, and that's what the slide is saying. And obviously, stress it again, there's tax incentives. One particular tax incentive that was introduced by National Treasury is it's part of the income tax series. It's called the Section 12L. So how that tax incentive works is that if you do an energy efficiency project, energy efficiency being, I go and maybe do a behavioral change program, I do an energy demand reduction project, I'll put in efficient lights, put in solar. What the government has done through the National Treasury is that it says for every kilowatt saved, for every kilowatt saved, I'm getting 95 cents back on the corporate tax that I was supposed to pay. So it's just important to know, as you are getting to be cities of the future and big businesses, there's a tax incentive. I don't know who's paying. I'm sure most businesses are starting to get to a point where they're paying corporate tax, which is 28%. For those that don't know. What that 12L does, it effectively offsets the tax liability. So instead of paying the full 28%, that 95 cents gets deducted from the corporate tax. So yeah, once again, I'm not going to bore you too much with this slide, but the main thing that you really have to know is that this is no longer a trend. It's very much part of the economy. Don't let these things happen to you, like Stellenbosch. Be part of the activity, the economic activity that's happening in space. So you can't say you didn't know. I came in and I told you, now you know, now you can do something about it. Yeah. Okay, and just to show you some images. That's a solar farm in Kimberley. It's a 1.5 billion rand project. It's happening in Kimberley. It's happening in the Eastern Cape. It's happening in Western Cape. It's happening everywhere. Why is it not happening here? Why? Because you don't have the information. No, now you do. It can happen here as well. So just to also show you that these projects actually, they do happen. I'm not just saying, I'm just here giving you economic assumptions. That's actually a Vodacom building. I was hoping the people from Vodacom were here, but you can share this with them. when you eventually see them. But that's actually, it's actually a funny, maybe it's a slide I shouldn't have included. But that same national development plan that I was talking about earlier, it says that South Africa must have net zero buildings by 2030. Net zero basically means I'm extremely energy efficient. I've done everything to reduce the energy consumption in my building. I've switched my lights to efficient lights, LEDs, light emitting diodes. I've also put in renewable energy. That's how you get to the net zero project status. Vodacom was actually, the Vodacom building in Midrand was the first one in South Africa to get net zero project status. And like I said, NDP, the National Development Plan, wants all the buildings in South Africa to get to net zero status. And once again, it creates an opportunity for all of you sitting here today to be players in the energy space, to get your sit on the table, to be generators of electricity, be your own mini ESCOMs here, and make money from it. Okay. Yeah, that's just a government building. It's also Green Star rated. It's a Department of Environmental Affairs. So that once again, it shows you that government is not just saying these things, but they're also leading from the front, you know? I spoke about the cars we're driving these days in Joburg. Hey, it's nice in Joburg. We drive these cars. No, I'm just kidding. I can't afford that car. That's a Jaguar I-Pace. What Jaguar is doing, very expensive car. Very expensive car. I can't afford this car. What Jaguar is doing, they're starting to introduce electric charging stations across the country. And where do you think they are installing them? Any idea? Electric charging stations. Where do you think they're installing them? At the garage. Because even the big oil and gas companies are starting to realize this is the future. They don't want to be left behind. They're starting to diversify their own portfolios. I had a meeting now, I think last week, one of the biggest oil and gas giants in the world, I won't name the name, and they were saying, please tell us what to do, because we don't know what to do. We want to continue our gas projects, but it looks like there's no future for gas, there's no future for coal. It looks like this is where we should be going. It looks like Nati, we should be generators of green electricity. So it's already happening. Do you want it to happen to you, or do you want to be part of the revolution? Yeah, I like this project. Why do I like it so much? It's a KZN project. It's a reforestation project that was done by the eThekwini municipality in Durban. The beautiful thing about this is that one, it's a green project, obviously. Two, it's driven by government. But three, it's a what you call a triple P project. It's private public sector partnership, where the municipality creates the enables for this project to happen. The private sector, the implementing agent, they come in, they employ the people that are working here through a project, the Public Works projects called, I'll remember the name, but basically what Public Works does is it provides the people to come and do the reforestation. The private partner teaches the people working there on how to do the reforestation. But then the beautiful part is that once that project is completed, once they've planted all those trees, that project can be registered on the carbon market. So what that effectively does is it creates a carbon credit, right? So that municipality is now sitting with an asset. They've got a carbon credit that they can sell to an oil and gas company that's looking to offset their emissions. So they can register that on the carbon market and they can sell that project and make money. Additional revenue stream for the municipality. So there's a lot of things happening in space. I love that it's also in KZN. And then when people come in about 4 or 5 years' time, there will be this beautiful greenery in the province that you people can take the visitors to. It's beautiful. Farming is my thing. I love it mostly because it reminds me of my grandmother. That's how I was introduced to this economic journey. My grandmother used to always say, everything we're gonna plant here, we're not gonna go and buy it at the shop. And really, that was Woolworths before there was Woolworths. That right there. They're actually selling to the Woolworths of this world. And once again, what's stopping you from playing in the space? This thing in green buildings we call the green wall and green roofs, where big corporates are planting trees, not trees so much, but food, vegetation, on their roofs, and they're selling it to retail centers. So, just an idea. That's how you create cities. It's through the economic activities. And that's also one of my favorite projects. Do you know that the bee is the most important being we have in this world? I know, I read it and I'm like, no, please. It's the truth. Bee population, other than the biodiversity benefits, what it does very well is it adds to the pollination, but also what it does, it helps reduce the effects of climate change. And also, what's beautiful about the beekeeping economy is that you can generate revenue. It's really an untapped market. I saw this project in Keynote in KZN last year. It's just something to look into. It's also part of this green economy that we're talking about. All right, that's my favorite because I'm featured in this one. It's me over there. Told you that I've spent some time in the Western Cape. Those are my friends. Actually, we have a hiking group called Bantu Hikers. We started hiking various wineries in Cape Town, actually. What I wanted to show you this is because when I was driving here, it's my first time in Newcastle, by the way. It's a beautiful hills you have here, beautiful mountain ranges. Why are we not creating hiking trails for the visitors when they come and visit your town? It's beautiful. One, they get to see the beauty of your town, but two, you get to make money, you know? So, yeah, it's a bit of my bragging slide. I like to keep fit, but also, you know, I like to hike. And then why are we not having hiking trails in these beautiful mountains that we have here? Yeah, in Newcastle. All right, I think then that's really me. I just wanted to show you a bit of what this green economy is. It's not just something it's tangible, and it's something that you can also benefit from. And really, for me, the enablers for you to play in the space, it's going to be a couple of things. It's going to be private-public partnerships. I mentioned that carbon credit project, the municipality at JURNI did with a private partner. It's also going to be technology. Why are we not creating our own Ubers and our own Airbnbs, our own apps? It's not that hard. It's about partnering, collaboration. And policy. We've got the policy in South Africa, we've got the NDP, we've got now integrated resource plan. ESCOM has already said we need to divide our business up into a generation, distribution, transmission entities, and that's where they're opening themselves up to partner with the likes of you that want to generate their own electricity. So the world's changing, and those are the enablers: technology, policy, partnerships. And then the service is really driven by market demand. You know, you respond, it's like knowing your customer. And it's easy. Know your customer, Google, stay close to the ground, network, get to know what other businesses are doing in the space. And really the jobs will come out as outputs of that. It's just how it works. Okay, and that's me. I mentioned the tax incentives. They're there, tap into them, IDC, DTI, there's all those tax incentives. But one particular one that I want you to focus on is the green tourism incentive that offers up to R1 million in funding for a renewable energy project that you do when you go and put solar PV on your roof. You can apply as a guest house owner. You can apply for that grant. It's grant funding from the IDC up to R1 million in funding. So the money's there. You just gotta access it. And and I think that's really me. You can do together. We can do. What's that slogan? I love the slogan. The Springboks one, stronger together. It's a powerful, powerful, powerful tagline. Did you think? They was like, powerful, stronger together. And I believe through collaboration we can really do stronger together. Yeah, and that's me. Thank you very much.
Sure. Sure. Lots to learn, great inspiration in the real economy. Lots of companies are redesigning their business model and reorganizing their businesses just to respond to the 4IR and the green economy, because it's a real future that is facing us. We have the last speaker before the panel and then the break. Danda sent me it's my sister here, the one standing up, replacing those that couldn't come from Tebe group. Am I right? So I'm just going to introduce her. It looks like she's a known person here in the province, so I don't have to say much. In fact, she will take over from me. But let me just quickly say what was given to me. I think it was in the promotion that Landa sent to us. Say, are you ready for Sipokazi? How do you pronounce him? Tiam. Tiam. The Lilizela Tourism Awards winner. An inspiration. An inspiration to tourism entrepreneurs. Catch Sipokazi at the 4th Industrial Revolution. She's here. Sipokazi, just a few words in terms of your introduction and then share with us your insights. What led you to winning this important national award?
Good evening, everybody. Sanbonani, Molweni. Igama lami nginguSiphokazi Thiam. I'm from the district of Harigwala. I'm from Kokstad. I was born in the Eastern Cape, but I moved to Kokstad, so now I'm a Kokstadian and a KZN now. But I'm still going back home. I still do go back home because Tina, we're not Asikotuki. But yes, I do go once in 3 years. Yeah. Because everybody just come and visit, So I'm like, okay, why am I going to go to Eastern Cape if they are coming to me? Okay. So, yeah, but Sipokazi Thiam, the mother of 5, the wife, the entrepreneur at heart, self-made millionaire. The reason I say that is because, as Usisi said, I always say it, as Usisi said, I didn't catch her name because I was late. I'm sorry about that. She said, when you own properties, you are a millionaire. It depends, Guti, how much value is your property. Know your value, know your property value. So I am a multi-millionaire. In my portfolio, I've bought 16 million worth of portfolio of properties. So I am. Usiphokazi grew up in the Eastern Cape. Usiphokazi was always an entrepreneur. Usiphokazi took herself to school. I will not go back to the root of everything, but I will just tell you just a little bit about it. Usiphokazi took herself to school, to grade 8, after she stopped, after my parents were not there. I was raised by my granny, and so I decided to start selling sweets, anything that you can sell, like sweets, orange, but not everything, anything that I can sell, but not everything.
So I had to go back. But my issue was, how am I going to go back to school if I don't have money for school fees and clothing and stuff? But luckily, I decided to start to go back to school, and my friend said, I will help you with a pair of shoes. Then I decided, okay, there's this sweets that, you know, this sweet, this kalamlong, we call it this kalamlong, and they say tape, I don't know, they're better, and then into pieces, you break it into pieces, and then you sell it, you 20 cents, 50 cents, you know those? Yes, that's how I started e-business. I sold those sweets. And I managed to go back to school. Bear in mind, Ruti, I was so choosy that I don't want to study in any type of school. I said to myself that I want the best school ever. So the one near my area, there was school. From the township of Tanzania, there were schools. But I said I want the ones that at NU14, I was at NU3. So that was the best school, which is Standard C, when I senior secondary school. That's where I got all my. Then, mind you, I have to use transport to get there. That's the issue now. Transport, school fees, training at home, because now I have to be a what? A breadwinner also. Because my granny doesn't every day have money. Yeah, she doesn't have money to put bread on the table. But the moment I put that bread on the table, I am the breadwinner. I am. Yes. You are the breadwinner. Yeah. Study, breadwinner, entrepreneur. It was all in there. Then I decided, you know what? In this business, in this entrepreneurship of mine, I'll go further and further. I went in and invest on sausages. You know, these are a sausage. There was a sausage. Yes. There were shops who were selling those sausages, and then you can. That time we were allowed to sell at school. Nowadays, students are not allowed to make money to sell at school. Anything. But then I brought in chicken feet, chicken heads. If I didn't sell it all, I would give you for credit tomorrow. You give me my 50 cents. Yeah. And believe me, I've never ever had any of the students who doesn't pay me back. So I always had my money back. So that's how I grew up. Then that's where it all grew. That's where it all grew. I went into second-hand clothing where I would put in clothes on the, I go into the township and sell clothes that way. I'm in grade 8, I'm in grade 10 now, where I can add second-hand clothes, where, you're going to it's either you sell it for 5 rand, wherever you got it in a bag, and then you get the bag for 150, and then you end up getting about 700 for that whole bag. So that's where the entrepreneurship grew in me. But funny thing is, I was even good at economics, I was good at business economics, I was good at accounting. So I was better at maths. I was not very big, but yes, I was better at maths. Put 1 and 1 together, makes 2. That's where it all began. That's where it all began at a younger age. Entrepreneurship is something that is within you, inside. It just doesn't happen overnight. It's not something that you can just say because I see my neighbor selling the streets or opening in the guest house. I must open the guest house because she's driving a Benz now. You don't know her secret unless you stand up and go and ask her. Pause, you get decided, okay, you know what? But with all this, let me share with you that I got married at an age. Because I wanted someone who would take care of me. I needed someone who would be able to say, to give me ideas as to how to be who I am, how to be, because already I've got a lot on my plate. Now I needed someone to depend on. Knowing that I had a husband, I thought it was going to bring in all that, like a husband that was going to bring, put the money on top of the table and say, I was still at home, yes, because I was still a student. So, my husband didn't give me money. No. He said, you must continue what you're doing. I'll give you have one babe, I'll give you another babe. Yes. He was also a businessman. And for the likes of it, he started out on the street. He was selling shoes in the street. Hence, my surname is who? Yeah. My husband is from Senegal. So he said, no, you must continue what you're doing. I like what you're doing. Continue. I've never seen someone like this. Even back home, women are only putting buckets in their head. That's all they know. But for me to see a child who when you ask him, he has priorities that far left, far higher than mine, it makes me love you even more. Say, God, thank you, Baba. Well, you know what? I grew in this entrepreneurship. I grew every day until grade 12 I decided, no man, let me join him where he was in Matakia. Because he was always coming, going. He was in Matakia. So I said, he said, do you want to continue with your school after grade 12? I said, yes. Took his money, he gave me 4,000 rand for registration at UT. I went and registered for marketing because I didn't even know what I wanted to do. You know, I didn't know that as an entrepreneur, you can do other things. Because I knew that I cannot be an accountant because I'm not good in maths. I knew that I cannot be a doctor because I'm not good in science and maths. So those are the I cannot be a police. I hate being a police. I hate being a nurse. So what else can I do? What am I going to do in school? Then I went and registered. I wasted his money. I just wasted his money. I registered and then I never went into the class. I decided, you know what? I'm not going to go to school now. I won't. No, I won't. Because I don't know. They say I should do the opening class. There's an open class for marketing. So what is marketing? What am I going to market? I don't know. I know how to sell my tricks and let us go back to the business. He was still in the street. Then the entrepreneur in me, he was working with his partner. I said, you know what? Let's go back to the drawing board. How much are you making? I was good at that. How much are you making? How much is your profit? What have you done with your profit? I bought 20 shoes and 20 shoes. I don't ask so many questions. Too much questions, and he's busy making money, but he doesn't see the money. So I said, no, wait a minute. You know what? We have to start a family. You know, 2003, that's when I decided to have one, my first one. We have to start a family. Once we have a family, you have to know, you have to prioritize. Now this selling here and working with your partner, not knowing your profit margins and your whatever that you are doing, it's like you don't know what you're doing. No, I know I've been in business since I came into this country with one bag. I came with my one bag, and you see I must earn this food. I said, okay, but let's do something about it. That's when I decided we have to formalize the business yard. We have to formalize it because there was, you can see that it can be sustainable. There's a potential for it to grow, but if it is sitting here, there's no potential for it to grow. I said, number one, you have to break up with your partner, unfortunately. Because there is no partnership agreement in place, first of all. Partner will spend whatever that they are spending, he will spend whatever that he will spend. Then at the end of the day, comes December, There's no dividend being drawn or whatever. There's no profit that is shared. Only pocket to eat. Pocket. That's what we know as black people, isn't it? We said we eat. We said we eat. I said no. I think from what I studied, that's why education is very good. The foundation of it all. I think you have to have an agreement with your partner, and you have to know how many shares each other. If it's 50-50, how are you go and when are you going? How much is he spending? How much are you spending? You understand? So I said, okay, let us do that. When he brought that into his partner's attention, his partner decided, no, we cannot be doing things like that. And I also wanted to grow his business also and advise him more as to how we can better it, what else can we add. And he said, no, I can't do that. The partner said, no, excuse. So I said, you have to break with your partner. He broke with his partner. But now, what was standing in my head is that you have to make sure that whatever that you're advising is working. Because now, you will make him break with his partner. He's comfortable the way things are, and you want to take him to the next level, and you don't even know this next level if it will work for you. But the entrepreneur in me said it's the right thing to do. We went, I said, okay, open up a business account, let's start a bank. Then we decided, okay, the next step, let's get a shop in front of where you're putting your stuff. We can take this shop, it's 7,000 rand. What is so difficult for you? You're making 7,000 rand and you're eating 7,000 rand over the night. Why not? Why can't you afford the rent? You can afford the rent. Let's try. If this rent, if I cannot pay this rent at the end of the month, you'll be in trouble. Hey, okay, I won't be in trouble. My goodness, I hope I won't be in trouble. But I wasn't in trouble because that's where he saw the potential of the place. He got a bigger space and he decided to go more further because now he has to prove to his partner also that he's doing the right thing and he cannot fail in it. Competition is good for everybody. You understand? That's where it all started. Open up the business account with Standard Bank. I had to go and sit with them and find out more. How to acquire a home loan. The first time I went there, how to acquire a home loan. How to own a property. Because there was, in Gokstead, it was booming, or property, there was a need for more, it was just developing, the surrounding areas were developing. So I was looking, I always had it in me, property development is the way to go. Why? I always say, because I know any business that you see white people in it, I know there is money there. I always have that in my mind. Whenever you see white people in the business, you must know they steal. They don't waste their time in something that is not moving. I would say they are my role model. Serious. It's true. They don't waste their time in things that are not moving forward. They don't have that time. So I said, but property, if you see in Gokstead, all the properties are owned by white people. Sorry to, I'm not against but now, which means now I can, let me speak to Michelle. Michelle, how to go about and have property? I said, no, you can. But since you have a business account, you will put your money, take out your money, put your money, you bank your money. That way you're building your credibility at bank. I said, I will do that. It will cost you 500 rand a month for charges. And I said, it's okay, let's do it. I won't even tell that, but this is the situation. That's where it all started. 2005, I was 21 when I acquired my first property. Wow. My husband was skeptical. My husband was skeptical about it. How are we going to pay this bond? And the bond was now 3,500. And I said to him, you know what? God, the God who put us in this here today is the God who The God that has provided for us up until today is the God who's still going to provide for us. But the God I know, He will never put you in shame. I said, God, you see, disappoint. Then, 2005, the property, I decided, no, I'm not going to stay in it. We were renting, we had one child. And we decided, okay, but I was on the way to get the second one. Let us not move to the house. We were renting with his brothers. They stay like fish, find them 20 in one room. You understand? So we used to stay like that. So it's like, okay, and we were paying 3,500 for 3-bedroom house, and we were about 12 in the house, and in my room it was me and him only. So I said, I'm still happy in that arrangement, because at least my child has uncles. Let us rent out this 2-bedroom house. Let us rent out, and this house, this toilet, we don't actually need this garage. This two garage, we don't need. We have to make it a flat. And then we don't need the dining room. Who's gonna sit here and eat? Close it. Let's make it what? A room. Then it became 5 rooms. And two of them were in suits, 3 of them were not in suits. So we got tenants. How are we going to get into? What are we going to do with tenants? Tenants don't pay. Sometimes, how are we going to pay your bond? I said, you know what? As I said, the God who's going to provide everybody. But we never. I decided, okay, let me do this. I have to have a contract. I heard about a contract, a lease agreement. But I think we must have a lease agreement with each tenant. You understand? So that he knows that if he leaves without that, before that lease ends, you will still be liable to pay. He said, these people, they don't even care. I say, okay, you know what? Something that I learned from school. In order to be successful in business, you need to have good lawyers, good accountants, and you're good to go, and yourself. I said, you know what? I'll go to Mr. Pet. Let us go and ask him, what would you do? What would be the procedure? What was the procedure when someone doesn't want to pay your money? There were small claims and stuff like that, and you find that people are going are winning the small claim. Okay, they would promise to pay 50 cents or 5 rand a month for money. So I said to him, let us put in the strict contract, and then if ever he doesn't pay, we will report that. I had those big words. I don't even know where I'm going to report that because I'm going to rent out. So it went on and on. That's when I decided, you know what? 2008, bought another house. Yes. Bought another house 2008. He didn't want to sign it. And his business now was very bad. He signed. Remember now, in the business, I already tried the salon. I cut the business. I made a salon because I can also do it. You know that? Yeah, I'm good with my hands. We also put in new clothes now. We changed from second-hand. We have new clothes, shoes. But the Chinese kept coming in the market. They kept coming in. I'm a Chinese. That's corner. Next door is a China. So it was not good at all for retail business. That's why the entrepreneur of you. I said to him, you see, now this property we're paying 3.5, it's giving us 7.5. Yes, so that means let us add more rooms here in this property. We added more rooms, 2 more rooms in that property, and then it ended up generating 12,000. And the bond was still 3,500. Where was the money coming from? From the same from the same property. So you invest the money of the business back into the business, not to you, not to me. Invest on you by keeping yourself informed by learning. That's how you invest yourself. with the money of the business. But you, the owner, keep on learning, invest and go to do classes and whatever, travel the world so that you get more information, more knowledge. That's how you invest. But do not invest now when you see that things are still, you are still starting. So I invested back. That's where 2009 I decided, you know what, I always wanted to start a guest house, but I never knew where to start. 2009. With this new house, it was a 5-bedroom. Now we had to move. I already had the third child. Yes, I had to secure this man. It's not moving. It's my security. 3 children. Hey! Now we have to move from where we're renting to where the new house is. To the new house. It's true, it's fun. It's fun. Because now I'm that kind of person who always want to be hands-on. So only now I put the red rouge. I'm still trying to just to look like a lady. But even now, my children cannot get used to me. When I put the red rouge, they ask me, what's happening now? What's the occasion? Did you cut that girl? This house without people having to judge. And then oh, you go, girl. It's fine. I'm this old girl. It's okay. But what they will do, one day they will thank me for being like that. I know. Because I was watching, when I was doing, I was building a legacy. I'm building a legacy. I'm building a legacy. So, started the guest house now. The guest house is here 2008. We decided to put, it's a 5-bedroom house. Listen to this one. Everything that she was saying. I have to move from the house that we stay in 8 people because now there are 3 children. And I cannot afford, and now the goal of this property is 7.5 because it's 690. No. Hey, God, I know you've been there. I know, but I'm taking this property. Michelle, I want that property. What? I need financials, I need this and that. You know what to do. My husband said no. I said, but it's fine. Just sign for me. Sign for me, yeah? It's okay. I'm not going to buy it. The property was approved. And I had a change of 50,000. Man has that thing of signing. What is this I'm signing? Okay. I signed. And then I said, Michelle, let's go. The property was approved. He would tell you the story. You would laugh when he tells you the story. Say, this one can send me one day. We'll send me one day. I said, yes, what was I supposed to do? Because I needed this property. And I saw the potential. Looking at the potential when we were buying the property. It was the first one was in St. John's, which is a lower market. It's in town, but yeah, it's a lower market. My lower market even now. But it's close to Imoli as Oxford, well-known mall, which is growing now, which will add value to the property also. So that one was in an upper area, in the most quiet area. So I'm renting out 11,000, I'm getting 11,000 that side, and now I've got this one. Now when I put together the bond, this house property will pay for both houses. But now the issue is rates, electricity, what. Business is not doing well. Clothing business is not doing well. The salon also, if I'm not there, it's not doing well. Because no one can ever make you rich. No one will ever make money for you. No matter where, no matter how much, I don't know how much what, but I get who knows that is my motto. I get who knows that rich, I get who knows that imani. Not they all high tops. news, cats. Again. So you need to be fulfilled. Business lab. Then once you are gone, once you know it, then you can be there. If that packet, yes, a salon packet, I am down in the wasn't 20. The mood only you 30, madam. Because I knew it is at 20 Yes, I know my business. On Saturdays I used to make 4,000. Why are you making 2,000? You need to know. You need to ask those questions. You need to know your business. Don't make a mistake of starting a business and leaving it for someone else to run it for you. Unfortunately, there's no one, not even your sister, not even your mother can run your business the way you can. So know it first before you give it up. It's like a child. Wow. Started the guest house 2009. Oh, okay, I didn't share. I have to share this story with you, and so that I want you to go. When you live here, you know that it's possible. You can do it. I want you to take something out of my story and know that when you go out there, it is possible. You do it. Even if you do it differently, because what works for me will not work for you. But you can take what? You can take those things that you think is good for you. So we had to move in to this 5-bedroom. When I say 5-bedroom, it's a 3 rooms, lounge, dining room, kitchen. So we decided, let's cut lounge and dining room. It's our home. It's our home, lounge and dining room. My bed here, my baby's bed, my kitchen. These 3 rooms, let's rent them out. Because it's too big for us. That was my excuse. It's too big for us. We'll be fine, madam. It's too big for us. And there's only one toilet. Oh, there's 2 toilets. One bath with a shower and one outside. And I had a 2-year-old. I had a 3-year-old. Oh no, I had a 4-year-old. I had a 2-year-old. And I had this one. Then that's coming. Oh, God. Can you imagine? Having to share a bathroom. Not a guest. You only wait until you can send to the tenants. You have to, whenever you go to the bathroom, it smells. I love that smell. You know, I'm not sure it just fluid. I'm not sure what I'm shibosh. So I use shibosh. And then we get domestos. Domestos, because hygiene is still very important. Anytime I go to the toilet with the children, you think my tenants would leave the toilet wet. And I'm like, because they're paying 1,700 a month. And if I don't pay, how am I going to pay all these expenses? So that's how I live. There was a time where I decided some life is not for me. Some food is not for me. I cannot afford it. Some brains is not for us. That's what you do in business. You cannot go and think once you see you have 5,000 Rand in the bank account, you can go swipe and have everything. You must know. You must have limits. Be disciplined. So that's where I decided, no, you know what? We were not eating red meat too much. It was my favorite then, but it's no longer my favorite now. We eat chicken. Chicken was cheaper. It's cheap. So we eat chicken every day. My kids will ask me, why are we always eating chicken? I said, you must be grateful that you're eating chicken. Some children out there, they're not even having this chicken you have. They don't. It's the truth about it. Our children, we must tell them the truth. Yes, again. That's how we must raise schools that they are going to now, they tell us that, look, you're not the boss of me. My son says, you're not the boss of me. He's 6 years old. So I say, why? He say, I'm not your boss. Why? God is my boss, not you. My mother, I love you, but you're not my boss, but God is my boss. Okay, I understand. So that's where I decided, okay, now I'm tired of guests, of tenants, they must convert. Because I always want to do Airbnb. But how am I going to start? The how is the problem. I went to all over. There were guest houses. They were making money. They were making money. And there was this one that was next to the other house, the first house. It was, they were charging 70 rand a night. No, they were charging 100 rand a night. And they had other rooms for supplements. And then I'm asking myself, and then when you go there, yes, the standard is very good. Yes, everybody's talking about the standard, but the contractors, they want it. There's a market for them. They had 21 rooms. Wow. They were charging 70 rand up to 100 rand. And in those rooms, they were sharing e-toilets outside. They were washing outside the showers. So I said, if there are desperate people like that, who can come and wash outside, and pay 100 rand and 70 rand, why can't I maybe try? Then I went to ask, how do you start a B&B? Everybody gives you a runaround. Hey, yo, we are very good at that. Getting about we black people, we are very good at this discouraging about business, which is bad. When I knew it was that tough, but I said to myself, if I haven't tried it, I'll never know. I cannot ask Jenny from I'm not that type of a person. I must start. And then I said that I need to give these guys notice. Why? Because I'm going to guest house. Hey, did you see his new big business-wise, the rent, he shopped over 2 months, 3 months. If you like that, what do you get them over? 2008, I venture even. I tried even Windows at 10, and then I registered the company, the construction. When I heard about everything that I can hear, I registered the company. When I go out there and ask how to go about and be part of it, have no time. What are you? Corruption! 500! All these negative things. Hey, I can sum it up. Is a shop. What is department is sitting connection. Then I decided to take the clothes from the shop, put them in. I'm both taking some 15 money, 15 and a half, because that's double the price as a shop. Hey! I was very lucky that I was living in Kokela, because I was praying every now and then. If I give you prayer, I will pray every God, please let me, because I don't have that. I'm scared into. I'm not scared to ask you for my money, but I'm scared to shout and do all those violence things. But I have this thing in me that's just mine, and you give me my money, So I'm gonna capitalize on that. So I would go in and it's mine. So I never had that problem of having to be rude and having to fight with someone. You understand? So I would call it a luck. Okay. Guest house has started. We did the guest house. I decided, okay, I'm gonna put in my even the was red and brown and stuff. I didn't know because I was just making a bed. I was just making a bed. You know what? I was just making a bed. Guest house has started, and then I put a board. I went to the Abantu body, then they drafted the board for it now at 100 rand per room. There are guest houses around me. You know what? And I was targeting what? Constructors, when I go and do the business cards, she will take my bills, she won't pay. Then I go out there to the garages, get myself, and say, you know what, I've got a guest house. If you bring in a guest who's about a night free, but your whole system, that was a guest, because I'll go. That's how I'm marketing myself. You know, that's how I'm marketing myself. Take my business card, send it to them. Then there were people at garage, that's the first place where they asked where to sleep. And Homestead was booming business. I tried. Hey, I did. Hey, I'm getting my guest. Each stress is all up. Each target market comes with a stress. Each target market comes with a stress, and you must be ready. You must be ready. Because I wanted to diversify. Then I give them rate for a year or a month because there's still a shortage of properties there as well. So and then I saw, okay, as we're doing this, I'm enjoying it. As much as there's challenges, I'm enjoying it. Yes, I would go and clean my rooms. I know how to make my bed. I know how to clean it as much as I was making it like, so what? They were sleeping. That's how it all started. And they were happy. Pictures go to the 2009 is corner website. I opened up a website! Oh wow. Yes! My baby, I'm a brown and white. I always feel proud. I always say, you know what? Thank you, Lord. So then, that's where I continue growing. That's where I continue growing by investing the money that I'm making here back into the business. And you must never, ever underestimate the power of 100 rand a day. If you use it well, it's a lot of money. Or 50 rand a day, it's a lot of money. So whatever that we did into the property, we changed, add more. We add toilets into the rooms. Started by toilets. Then we added rooms. We started added rooms and then 2012 I decided, you know what, I want to be graded. Oh, and it's called someone to be graded. Then when it came 2011, he said, it's fresh everything. Young wrong. I said, young wrong. This is like Tata because but I do want the star. I want the stars. I want the stars. Because who top it by mentioning who's getting database, full stars. Which is very important. We must be graded with properties there. I'm coming back there. Oh, what is this thing? I furniture. I was still wrong. I'm not airport. I'm not side lamps. I'm not. Janine says, stressing that okay, yet. I have a financial institution. I have no money to a bank. I have a CTC. The CTC in the Natal, no. Tell me below. What in from A to C to E F G. The moment the familiarizer the documents doesn't need to arrive, the financials. It starts there. If you take financials, you must bring in financials, learn financials. Financials, join assets, I fully ready per se how much money you have at hand, but how you run your business. Fully a bank statement. Yay, my husband, when I have an unpaid, he knows. He cannot use the money when there are debit orders are coming. If there's an unpaid, since then, up until today, my accounts have never had an unpaid. My business accounts. That's where I said, okay, unpaid is very bad for you if you want to grow your business. Your business account must be totally separated from your personal account. That's where all unpaid but It's fine. But you must respect your business account. If you find you have no loan shark that you are going to go and borrow from Mashonisa, you better respect your bank account. Then you bring in, they would ask the same documents. Then the loan was approved. 400,000. Furniture, fence, because my clients now I was saying I want to be graded so that I can move from contractors to this market, to government. Where the buying power here? The government, yes, a lot of money. From government. No, government. But when they come to government, you must go, hey, because they never did that basically. So, is this the picture? Oh, it's on the website, but I have to read it about it. Fine. It's okay, it's a lesson. It's good, it's okay. You must accept rejections. It's okay. It's okay to be rejected. That's why you learn. Okay. Mr. gave me the money. Okay, now the quotations, I've done the quotations. Now I'm going to have a fence. At least my guests will be secured. Because the security of the guests is the most important thing. Security when you own a guest house. Okay. Yeah. Fence, gate, lock. Yes, syllabus is safe. Now I want to grow. I was graded in bed. 3-star. Good, because I've got a nice furniture. Now, that is 2012. The problem is, I'm not getting the market that I want. What is the problem? I'm graded. I've got everything that lady said I should put into the rooms. But still, when people come, there was this once a guest came. But I'm just that kind of person who doesn't believe in witchcraft. He came in. I will use this word again. This was a white man from this big company. I'm not going to sleep in this place. Shit! And I'm like, okay. And the staff came to me and said, shit! Then he started picking up the phone. And I'm like, okay, what to say in English? I don't even know. Mind you, I'm self-taught. Everything that I know, it comes naturally. I don't even know how to treat a guest, what to say, how to answer to the guest when, because we are just doing it, for the sake of doing it. Hey! I just don't know now. Okay. He phoned the office phoned and said they want to cancel. But I said to the office, you know what? I've got policies on my website. You would follow those policies. There is a cancellation. Or else I will sue you. I didn't talk to the guest. No. I will sue you, sis, or secretary. And I'm not wrong. Because I called you wrong. He cleaned and I was. What you guys were doing here, I felt routine. There's something missing. That baba boom. He put that here. First of all, let us know, Lucas. I've got a white bedding. Did I tell? Clean the tiles, got here in showers, I was necklace. That's not what she wanted. Then I said to them, you know what, you will pay for this booking. Then we apologized to the guest. He just came and said, apologize to the guest. We apologized to the guest. I've dealt with the right person. So this just is Zama to be good enough. And she knows what their policies, which is the most important thing you do in business. You have to have policies with guest house. Cancellation policies, everything must be it must be in writing. You come in, this is this and this is that, this is for you, this is for you. You know it's this time from this time. Don't you come ulinde ikesingene ubekhona we explain it live. Must be on the website. Yes, I'm explaining it as we check in, but must be on the because abanye bazathanda isibonanga. You understand? Then after sign wakhe uzibhayile by ndiyakuva. Yeah, then it makes things easier for wena as to how to because the argument is too much. Hey, I don't really know where I got that information. Don't ask me. But I know it helped. Yes, there were days where it was tough. There were days where it was nice. I started taking my groups. 2012, I took 250 people. Zamasaka. But you have a phone, but una space. That's it, when you are so. I'm not just a gentleman. And 9 rooms in now. That's when. 200 Sister Shaw, Mrs. Shaw, to remember. Hey, that's okay. The entrepreneur, in the collaboration. Opportunity to my phone from the office in so when we familiar because you are online, but familiar because you tell it on a website. Hey, website marketing. Word of mouth, online, long internet is very good for your business. Really underestimate because it pays off later. I was warning you investor who you profit is a lot. But in the news, but at the end of the day, it brings in those big opportunities. Hey! 250 people, started counting, okay, I know. I started knowing all the people around me. I started counting how many rooms they have. There was this lady who had about 12 guest houses. When you go to her, she will tell you, only guest, only government. She will tell you, I won't see about business. Only, but it's okay. So I said, okay, let me count how many people around me. I calculate how many guest houses, how many people they can take. Then I went back to the client and said, you know what? I do have your place actually. I even included our student accommodation. I include that. Hey, because I'm a fully guest house per se. Because Masalga games, you know Masalga games sport. There was no space to go stay. No, as it was, that was. Nalala, go for extending. Now we got 6 or 5. Party breakfast. Ya pinda na room lunch, basel everything. Ya paying the food. Nabe imali lele skubeni. Nabe nifakela ndoni as you room the back. Nakaba when one. You can't say no to business. You must never say no to business. Because that's where you grow. You need to develop experience and you're uncomfortable. You'll be uncomfortable. That is a camera. And was Lala, but those experiences, and those all this is exciting to deliver. Please don't say something. Never join the car. Aim high and hit them. Don't aim too low because you are just going to hit and relax. That's for me. Took the people. That's where I grew. There was no going back for me in this industry. It was in my heart and soul. Heart of the hearts. It was in my heart as it grew. Then I decided, okay, now how did I invest? I would book myself into a 3-star, and I would book myself into a 4-star. I would book myself into a 5-star because I wanted to learn what is this? What is it? Because when you go to SIDA doesn't give me information as to how I can get training, how to make it happen naturally by seeing how air hotels make their beds, how guest houses make their beds, how, everything that I know, it's self-taught. I made my bed, and because of success, it gets me a lullaby, they're happy. Then I go to the hotel. Some of them will welcome me, and some will. I will look at the expression in their faces when they, there's something which is called customer service. They always say customer is always right. Up until today, Natal is the best nationally. Customer service. Why? Until late. I learned, come back to my business. I was already getting busy. But to government, I will never secure me. I was busy, but I'm a corporate lawyer. So I was happy because the business was growing, and I knew one day I would get there. They had a buying power here. Must have been order. If I would try 102,000 per month, that is life. 2016, as I grew, I've got 3 guest houses now in God's state. I decided, you know what? That it's high time for us to move out of the guest house. How many years have you been staying in that guest house with the guests? Because now that guest house had 9 rooms, we extended it, then we took 2 rooms, then we were renting out 7 rooms. Still in that guest house. My children learned routine. They had but accept where they are. You understand? They learned routine. They cannot make a noise from 6 to this time. They learned, and it was frustrating because now I was carrying the 50th child. I was carrying the 50th child where I was to understand routine. But that time, all of the whole time, I had Imagine it was 900 square meters. So there was no cutting it in between and say this is private and this is allowed, because we had to give all the things to the guests because my breadwinner yet. They are our kings. We grew up. The children grew up. 2016, that's where I decided, you know what, 2015, there was another opportunity of owning the Terra property now because we've exhausted site number 1, we've exhausted site number 2, we had 33 rooms. Now we want to expand more. We still want more. Because I saw myself as your next guy in court, or your next, what are these big names that are coming? I saw myself having a group. I'm still aspiring to have a group of hotels, but I'm skeptical about the area because I want to be known as a rural and township ambassador. I want to expand my business in rural areas. I want to expand my business in the township. I want to have that group in the township. I want to have that group in the locations. Why? Because I saw a market, nobody's doing it. It's an opportunity, so tap in. That's what we do. We are checked for. We are checked. space in Natal. Then you go in. So that's where I decided, okay, I want to grow my business. Hence, I've been growing as a church. The third property in Coxted, which was very huge. Inside Chakona was about 3,000 square meters. And it had a bonus of a 2-bedroom house, manager's house. It was a guest house, 12 rooms, and the manager's house. So we managed to get our freedom and our privacy in that way, 2016. 2016, we enter Amanilizela, decided to go up there. And I'm very, very, when it comes to my jazz, as much as they frustrate, because I couldn't enjoy that. No propose so when yam no ba usasha ngena thathi yonke into yam then funda kakhulu incwadi ngoba andifuni ezonto ezinjalo to happen to us to me. So I decided to make Usasha a friend of mine. Hence the more I'm registered, yabona nje yonke into yam ihamba qhubelele bandiya esithi imali yangapha ufuna tax clearance yes comply ufuna UIF yes upay your yes LST yes ndikhona. Not because I see myself as the next guy in court. Yes, why not? I would not say this is for only big companies. You grow because if you take yourself like a small business, you will remain a small business forever. That's what I didn't like then. We're still growing. It's not about you growing. This is where you sell yourself. This is a platform where you sell yourself. Where you stood up and said, I am so and so, this is my property, this is what we have to offer, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And when you get there, you will find A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We're waiting for you there. How many people? We do have a conference or we don't have a conference, but we can access it for you. That's how I want you. We cannot limit yourself to B&B only. B&B, that's how you start. You go to B&B, you go to conference, you go to restaurant, then step by step, you're growing. You're growing. You cannot remain in B&B. It doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. You have an opportunity to grow. La dining room yako, ugani court no wherever payana, oh how big or not big. We are in dining yake. I have conference and a conference. After take breakfast, why not you? Don't know wrong. Who does a breakfast? 20 people. That's how you grow. You mustn't say you don't have. You have everything. We have everything. It's just a matter of seeing and believing that I do have it. I've got what it takes. So I see this is the story for another time. So we won 5 awards already. 2016, 2018, 2019. Oh, so I had an award. So I had the most difficult one, which is Sanlam Top Destination. They couldn't believe it in Cape Town. It was only white. The whole house was white. Now you Google the top destination, you will see us. We were 4 black people, and we took that award, the 3-star best top destination with 3-star in rural areas in Cape Town, when climbing the hotel in London Bay, the top hotel. I was like, hey, you can do it. Now you have a beautiful place. I know, I've been there. But the problem here is that we underestimate what we have. I don't have enough. Oh, what can I do? Make this one you have work first before you want to go the next step. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is I will just cut it there. We are multi-award winners, and Slashiranga is the winner. I said before, we remain on top of everything. So stay. Always in business must learn to be disciplined. Play by the rules as if they are made by somebody else. This is a very, very, very vast industry, and it needs a lot of transformation. There's a lot that you can offer. My tourists want authentic experience. They don't want yours. They're tired with e-suburbs. They want to come in rural. Hence I'm saying, they want our culture, they want our food, they want everything. I've traveled the world. I've been to Spain. All the things that you're saying about there in Spain, everything changes in back, everything in JE buildings is a corner. But when you go to those exhibitions, you don't only take a look at that about Ulaba you post. You there is to sell your country, and you must learn from them. So what I've learned is that South Africa has a lot to offer, and each and every one of you here, if you can collaborate, Mrs. Lindy will call her, she's a top operator, who collaborate and sell you in the world. Let allow to your houses to sell you, because I sell South Africa, I sell Provis, I sell my guest house. My guest house will always be the last because I cannot offer it all. So I have to sell you, I have to sell you, I have to sell you. So that is what tourism is all about. Inclusion. It has no boundaries. Tourism has no boundaries. I love it. Tourism is one someone because without collaboration, you're not going anywhere. You will never get that piece of pie. You will always stay small. So with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, I must thank you for the opportunity, Butlata, for inviting me. For me, this is the platform where I share and inspire. And I always, when I'm done here, I know at night I will be very excited. It will be like I won a lotto. This is my lotto. For me to be sharing this information with you. There's a lots and lots and lots. But I'm just a phone call away. I'm just a phone call away. Thank you so much, program director. Thank you, Butlata, for inviting me. Thank you so much for being a beautiful audience.
Don't you think we are so blessed to be here today? I mean, this is so authentic, so real, so practical. Thank you very much. And Landa, congratulations. Really, this is wonderful. You have really shared very important insights with us. I hope you stay a little bit longer today so that people can also exchange some more information with you. I know we have overstretched it. There's just 5 minutes for somebody to say something that we can't miss. I'm not going to put together the panel. I will allow you to take a break. And then maybe when we come back at 2 o'clock, we do all the presentations, if you don't mind. And then we'll have one nice big panel at the end. Do you agree? Because I'm sure you have a lot to ask. If we set up a panel, we'll be rushing to invite other speakers. Because I can tell you, this was just the beginning. The afternoon is going to be lit. You know what I like is that we started with on the periphery, we go to the center, and you have said that the government, the SARS must be your friend, because if you want to become big, do the right thing. You know, I think the partnership between you, the operators, the government, everybody else, that's what will take this country forward. And of course, our institutions of learning, and that's what we are going to hear from somebody who's involved in that space. Landa, I guess Edu, we call it Edu. Edu's only yeah. I hear that you will be able to do that in 5 minutes. I hope it's not another bomb that will not be able to stop. Otherwise, we'll call you back to the panel later if you feel like you want to be be sharing more. We'll invite you to join the panel. Is that right? Yeah. 5 to 10 minutes now, but there is a panel later. People are really tired, although it's very enjoying. We are very enjoying it, but we must also respect it. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. As you can see, I'm very, very young. But then I've got this one thing that I got in life, that everyone is a champion in their story. And I'm looking at a lot of champions here. Some already have 2 belts, some already have 1 belt, some are still in the ring. But everyone is a champion in their story. And my story is I'm making hair food and face oil from scratch. I plant the ingredients, lavender, stinging nettle roots. I'm making all at home. It's all organic because I cook it and I sell it about $100. It's cheap. It's cheap. And then in Joburg they're selling for like $250 because of the markets being higher there and lower this side. But that's my story. That's how I become a champion. I'm still in the ring though. I haven't won the belt. So the reason why I'm here under tourism is because I felt this need in agriculture that with the 4th industrial revolution coming, there's a lot of industries that can actually collaborate. Like for me, with the face oils, that beauty products, I can collaborate with people in the gym while you're keeping your body fit, but your skin is bad. So same applies with tourism. Since I'm dealing with the soil, why don't we combine agriculture and tourism, and agritourism? So that's the point I want to talk about here today. So what is agritourism? Agritourism is actually a blended mixture of 2 industries, agriculture and tourism. It's the practice of exploring farms and often participating in the farm activities. This has been popular in Italy with the squashing of grapes to make wines. And one thing I realized when people go to Italy, they get tired of it. There's too much work and they want something more relaxing. So this way the idea of farm stay came into life with the agritourism. With farm stay, you can take your whole family, go to the farm, do horse riding, fishing, catch and release. And that experience to the youngsters, that's a very educational vacation for the parents and their kids. And I bet you now, if you could take your family there, they will want to come back again. So my story is that I saw a need of learning because I've got 20 years to go. I believe that. And with this need of learning, after learning, you start giving, and then everything will fall into place. I truly don't care about money. You can come today and tell me it's so much money, and I'll say, take it, I don't need it. God will pay. I got that philosophy. So there are many pursuits categorized as agritourism, from workshops such as canning fruits like apricots, peaches, something you can do at the farm stay, something that you can also take and make into a business if you want to be that kind of champion. So the reason why I'm here is just to make people realize that with this kind of farm staying happening, there are sectors that are going to be a part of it: tourism, hospitality. And a lot of people are not realizing that in this 4th industrial revolution, that we need to combine this education system. We need to combine people, realize that getting this course alone won't help you. So that's where I come in, and with my partner up with Edison, the school that offers agri-tourism and tourism. So the main point, we buy Cambridge, we next to Cambridge. The main point of me being here is just to let people know that the world is changing and we are being left behind in Newcastle. Can we just please, let's love Newcastle, let's grow Newcastle, let's stand as Newcastle. Can you guys promise me that? Then another thing is this: with education, support the diasporic evolution, a lot of industries that can collaborate. So can you just keep that in mind, businessmen and women, that if you're in a certain industry, try to see other markets that can collaborate with you.
Thank you very much. You're still around, so they will get more information from you. Can we break for 1 hour? We'll be back at 2 o'clock. I think we will be able to manage the time. When we come back, we will welcome 2 more speakers. We have Ndadeti Mande from the province, and then we have Mapule from Nelson Mandela's Squad. I'm very, very much close to Mapule. We have been interacting a lot, and I know a special program is going to be an inspiration for you. As Nlanda mentioned, there is a particular place in the KZN where we have that model. But let's come back on time at 2 o'clock so that we can have the 2 presentations done. Is there another one I'm missing? Internet of Things, okay, that's not happening. Cool, it's only two presentations and then a part. So we're going to have enough time to really